Okay, so in this example, or not in this example, in this video, what I'm going to show you is the steps for dealing with decimals. So we've been talking about fractions this whole time. So now I'm going to talk about decimals. Okay, now decimals, the way they want you to do it is they want you to change the decimals into equivalent fractional expressions, right? So they want you to change each decimal into an equivalent fraction and then use the steps that we used before to get rid of the fractions by multiplying by the least common multiple of the denominators, and then use the steps for solving linear equations that we've been using. Okay. Now I'm not going to tell you that only because you could do that, but it's the same as what I'm just about to tell you. Okay. Because by changing each decimal into an equivalent fraction or a fractional equivalent, you're going to have a power of 10 in the denominator. Okay, so by multiplying by the least common denominator, it's equivalent to multiplying by the power of 10, right? The largest power of 10 or the smallest power of 10 that will give you integers. Okay, so that's the way I'm going to explain it to you. Okay, so to work with decimals, if you have decimals in your linear equation, okay, to solve them, you want to get rid of the decimals. That's really the easiest way. The simplest way to get rid of the decimals, okay, is to multiply the entire equation by the smallest power of 10 that will make all of the decimals into integers. Okay, that's equivalent to what they're telling you in the textbook, or what sometimes they'll do is tell you to change to the fractional equivalent and then multiply everything by the least common multiple of the denominator. Well, it's the same thing here. Okay, so I'll show you how that works. So now, then once you do step one, then it's just basically using the steps to solve linear equations that we've been using. Okay, so nothing more is really changed. The only difference is now we've just got to deal with these decimals, and now in this case, so think about it this way. In fractions, it was about getting rid of the fractions so that we had integer coefficients, and then we were good. Okay. Now, the only difference is now we're dealing with decimals, so the idea is still the same. Get rid of the decimals so that we have integers, and then everything is good. Okay? So let's see some examples, and I'm sure it'll make sense.